Hello, it's Sonia here with the Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, I'm so happy to have you here. So today we are going to be doing a baby project. We're going to be making some baby booties. So I am using my E-hook or 3.5 millimeter hook. I do have a written pattern for this. This is an older pattern that I made and I thought it'd be fun to kind of revisit it. And there is a new baby in my family, so I will be gifting these to them, and I am going to be using this blue yarn and this white yarn, and these are more girl styles. I mean, you could use them for a boy too. They're going to be a Mary Jane style. It's like a bootie and a sock all in one, and the recipient actually prefers to dress their baby in their little girl in blues. They're not a big pink fan, so anything that's like blue is their favorite color. So when I've been having fun buying gifts and seeing what kind of little girl things I can find that are in blue, and there are some really cute things out there. So I will make these booties for the new baby too, and hopefully they'll match some of the outfits that I got. Okay, so also in the pattern, I can put a link to the written pattern. So the ones that I'll be making are more, I guess, like 0 to 3 months. It depends on the baby. Every baby's different. Some babies have really tiny feet. So on the pattern, it's labeled like 0 to 3 and then like 3 to 6. So if you wanted to make a larger size booty, then just bump up to an F hook or a 3.75 millimeter hook. And we're using DK weight yarn. I don't know the brand of this yarn. I got this in my yarn swap at my group, but it feels like really nice yarn. It's going to be a splitter, so that's not going to be fun. So to start off with, we are going to be working on the sole, so the bottom of the booty first. So they're going to look kind of like little shoes, and you will need a stitch marker, which I had one here. Here it is. I'm just using a scrap of yarn, so you'll need a stitch marker. So to get started, what we're going to do is we are going to chain 11. And you do want to have 2 different colors. So I'm using this blue, and then I have this, I think it's Jamie yarn. It's in my stash, and it's quite probably vintage now. There's nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly fine. And you know, it's got that little like sparkly fleck in there. So this is going to be like the sock part, which I think will be pretty. So blue and white. So we're going to chain 11. Okay, so I have my 11 chains. So to get started, we are going to single crochet in the second chain from our hook, and we are going to single crochet 6 stitches. So in the second chain from our hook, and work in your chain however you like, we're going to work a single crochet, and now we're going to single crochet in the next 5, and we will have a total of 6. So I have my 6 stitches there. So now we are going to double crochet in the next 3 chains. Yeah, this yarn is definitely a splitty type of yarn, but it's very soft, so it will be very comfortable on the baby. So I've worked my 3 double crochet there. Okay, so in our last stitch, we're going to work 6 double crochet in our last chain here. Oops, oh my goodness, split, split, split. Maybe I'm gonna rethink this choice of yarn. But I do like it, so we're just gonna power through it here. Okay, so I have my 6 double crochet. So now we're going to be working on the other side of our chain. So we are working in a round. So now we're going to double crochet in our next 3 chains. So 1 double crochet in each. So there is our 3 double crochet. And now we're going to single crochet in our last 6 chains. And there's our last one there. Oops, and we're splitting up. There we go. Okay, so there is round 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a stitch marker in my very last stitch to mark it. So I'm just grabbing that scrap piece of yarn and just placing it in that stitch. I mean, you can certainly use actual stitch markers if you have them. So there we go. So we're starting to make it look like a sole. So this is the heel area and then this is the toe area. Okay, so at the end of our first round here, we have 24 stitches. So you'll have 12 double crochet and 12 single crochet. So let's get ready for round 2. So I'm going to change up my own pattern a little bit. So in the written pattern, which I will link that if you're interested in seeing it, and it is a paid pattern on Ravelry. But I'm not going to join. I'm going to work in continuous rounds because I find that to be a little bit neater and tidier. I made this pattern probably over 10 years ago, and I used to do my rounds with joining. I mean, I still do sometimes, but with this one, I think it's going to look a little more seamless if we don't join. So let me fix my stitch marker. And we are just going to jump right into round 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work 2 half double crochet in that first stitch to begin round 2. So marking your last stitch helps you know where your round ends and where it begins. So now I'm working my second half double crochet. And now I'm going to work, so I have a 2 half double crochet. I'm going to work 2 half double crochet in the next stitch. And now we're going to half double crochet in our next 7 stitches. Okay, so I've worked my 7 half double crochet, and now I'm going to work 2 half double crochet in the next 6 stitches. So we're working 2 stitches in each, so we'll have a total of 12 that we work. So popping in 2 stitches in that next stitch, and now I have 5 more to go, so 2 more in the next one. So there we go. And now we're going to half double crochet until we get to our last 3 stitches. So here is our last stitch that we marked. So 1, 2, 3. So that means we're going to half double crochet in the next, let's count them. So in the next 6 stitches, we're working half double crochet. Weird. Oh, the yarn split there. That's weird. Alright, well hopefully we can hide that. Okay, so now we have 3 stitches left. So 1, 2, 3, and we're going to work 2 half double crochet in our last 3 stitches. Oh, I see dog hair. He's not allowed in here, but you know, he leaves a little bit of himself wherever it's in the air. Okay. So here is that last stitch. I'm going to put in 2 half double crochet, and again I'm going to mark that last stitch. So at the end of round 2 here, we have 35 stitches here. So I have for round 2 there's 35 stitches. So let's get ready for round 3. I've marked that last stitch there, and we're going to jump right into round 3. So we're going to work 2 half double crochet in our next stitch. And we're going to work 2 half double crochet in our next 2 stitches. So 2 in this next one, and 2 in the next. So now we work half double crochet in the next 10 stitches. So 1 stitch in each. So here's stitch 2. And stitch 10 here. Okay, so now what we need to do is we're going to work 2 half double crochet in the next 12 stitches. So how I just like to count is I'll just count 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would be a total 24 stitches. Just makes it a little easier, but you're popping in 2 stitches in each. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're just going to keep going. Okay, so now I'm at my last one, stitch 23 and 24. So there we go. And now we're going to half double crochet until we get to our last 2 stitches. So here is our last stitch, and then here's the second to the last one. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stitches left that we need to work half double crochet. Okay, so now we have 2 stitches left. So we're just going to work 2 half double crochet in our last 2 stitches. So there is 2 in that stitch, and I'm going to pop out my stitch marker and pop 2 in that one. And now we are going to join with a slip stitch in our first stitch here, because the sole of our booty is done and we need to cut our yarn. So this project, as from what I remember, because I have not looked at this in quite a while, is modular. So we're making some pieces and either stitching them or sewing them together, which I'm not sure. Since even though it's my own pattern, I really haven't seen this one. I haven't had a need to make baby items, but now that we have a new baby in the family, it's pretty exciting and fun. So here is the first sole, and of course you will need to make 2 of them, but we'll jump into the rest of the shoe here, and then obviously I'll make the other one off camera. Okay, so now we're going to be working on part of the top of the shoe, and we are going to be working in some rows here. So I have my main color, which is the blue. So whatever color that you use to make your sole, you want to use for the next step here, so the top of the shoe. So what we're going to do is chain 9. So I have 9 chains here, and I'm going to single crochet in the second chain from my hook and single crochet across. And I believe you can work in your chain however you wish, from what I remember. So I'm just going to single crochet across. So I will have a total of 8 single crochet. Okay, so I have my 8 single crochet here. Okay, so I'm going to chain 1 and turn. So rows 2 through 4, we're just going to single crochet across, working 8 single crochet. And at the end of row 4, we're going to change to our other color. So I have the white here. So I'm going to be changing to my white at the end of row 4. So just single crocheting in that same stitch there, and just single crocheting across, and just repeat that up to row 4. At the end of row 4, change to your other color. So I will meet you back at the end of row 4. Okay, so I have worked 4 rows and I changed to my next color. So I'm not going to cut my original color, and our and the even rows are the right side. So this, I ended on row 4, so this is the right side of our work. So now with my other color, we can call this color A, the blue, and white color B, I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work with color B, my white. And this is my wrong side. So since I am going to carry this, I want to make sure that this yarn is facing this side here, since it's the wrong side. So what we're going to do is we're going to work in the front loops only. So right in that first front loop, we're working single crochet, and we're just going to single crochet across, working in the front loop. So I will have 8 single crochet, working in the front loops only. Okay, so I have worked my 8 single crochet across. So I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work. So for rows 6 through 9, we're going to be repeating row 6 here. So I'm going to chain 1. So this is row 6 that we're on now. Chain 1, single crochet in both loops in that same stitch, and single crochet across. So you can see those unused loops right there. So we're just going to continue to single crochet across. So I'm going to have 8 single crochet. So I'm going to finish up here, and we will not be cutting color B at the end of our work, or at the end of row 9 here. So I'm going to keep going. So now I'm going to be on row 7 and I'm just going to repeat row 6. So I will meet you back at the end of row 9. Okay, so I worked 9. So we do need to switch to color A right here, which I don't really want to carry it across that white. So definitely if you were using a darker color, let's say, you know, this is going to be the sock part would be black, then feel free. I think that would be okay. But because this is a dark color and you know, it's white, I don't want it to show, so I'm going to cut it, you know, more ends to weave in, but I think it'll look better in the long run. So I'm just going to finish off that last stitch with color A. And we are not cutting color B here. So I want to make sure color B is out of the way. And so now we're going to get ready for working the back of the shoe. I know it doesn't seem like it, but we are. So what we're doing is we're going to chain 26 with color A. Okay, so I have my 26 chains here. So I still have the wrong side facing. I'm now going to turn it over. So this is my right side facing, and I'm going to take this chain I made and I'm going to slip stitch in that last stitch here. So I just want to make sure my chain is not twisted. So I just like to run my thumb and index finger just down the chain like that. And we're just going to work that slip stitch in that very last stitch. So this is what it should look like. So this is actually going to be part of the toe, this is part of the sock, and then this is the back of the shoe there. So just in case, sometimes it's kind of hard when you're making something and it's a little unorthodox and you're just like, where is this going? I have no idea. I don't understand the construction. So there you have it. Okay, so now we are actually going to be working in rounds and we're not going to be turning. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1 and I'm just going to single crochet right in that same stitch. And now I am going to continue to work 8 more stitches working on the ends of the rows here. So this is stitch 1. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to have a total of 9 stitches. So here is stitch 6. Actually, I don't like that hole there. So when you're working on the ends of the row, sometimes you kind of need to just eyeball it. And actually what I might do too for finishing, because I'm not sure if I can completely eradicate that hole when I work down the side, I'm going to take that end and I'm going to weave it over that hole. Sorry, I'm bumping the camera. So I'm going to take that end and I'll weave it over that hole just to kind of clean that up a little bit because I'm a bit of a perfectionist. But that's just a little trick with finishing to take your project to the next level. So now I lost track of how many stitches I have made. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the hole is not as bad, but we'll clean that up with finishing. So I have 9 stitches. So now we are going to work across the front here. So we're just going to work on the ends of our chain here. And we're going to work our 8 stitches because we worked 8 to begin with. So I'm going to work 8 stitches across. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, So I have 8 stitches across, and now we're going to work on the other side here. So we worked 9 stitches here. We're going to work 9 single crochet across. And this is the right side of our work. And now I've worked my 9 stitches across the other side. And as I'm looking at it, I don't like the way this guy looks because it's a little farther down than that. Again, I am a perfectionist. Not sure why that looks like that, so I'm going to fix it. There we go. So again, just eyeballing it so it looks a little neater and tidier. So that looks a little bit better. So I've got my 9 stitches across. So now we need to work on in this chain that we made. So we're going to work in the back bump of the chain, and we're going to work 26 single crochet because we made 26 chains. So I'm just working in that back bump and just working my 26 single crochet. So I'm going to keep going and I will meet you back after I've worked in my 26 chains. Okay, so I'm finishing up my last stitch here. So this is stitch 26 of my chain, and I am going to put a stitch marker in that last stitch I just made, because we are going to be working in the round in continuous rounds. So there it is marked. So at the end of round 1 we will have 52 stitches here. Okay, so we've got our stitch marker in there. So what we're going to do is in the back loop for this is round 2, we're jumping right in. We're going to work in the back loop in the next stitch. We're working our single crochet, and we're going to work 4 more. So we have a total of 5 in the back loops. And this is just for aesthetic reasons only. So I have 5 stitches in the back loop. Now we're going to continue to work 16 stitches in the front loop. Single crochet. So stitch 15 and stitch 16. So now we're going to work the next 5 stitches in the back loop again, so it matches the other side. Okay, and now we're just going to work in both loops again, so we're at the back of the shoe. And we're going to just work it be 26 stitches all the way around to complete round 2 here. Okay, so I finished stitching around. I've put my stitch marker in my last stitch. So now we're ready for round 3, and we're just going to single crochet all the way around, and we're going to repeat that up to round 6. So rounds 3 through 6, we're just single crocheting around, working again 52 single crochet. We're working in both loops. So I'm going to keep going, just single crocheting around, and again, just make sure you use your stitch marker in your last stitch there, and I will meet you back at the end of round 6. Okay, so I worked my 6 rounds. So this is my very last stitch. I don't have a stitch marker in it, but this is what it's looking like. So definitely looking more shoe-like here. So now we're going to get ready to attach the sole of our little shoe. So here is the sole. Here we go. And this is the right side. So you're going to want to have that down like this. And then this will be the side inside the shoe. And we're going to attach the sole to the bottom, or attach the shoe to the sole here, like that. So how we are going to do that, and we still have this guy just chillaxing, chilling out. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put the yarn through here. So let me do that, because we still are going to use that white, because thank goodness it's a small skein. Even if it wasn't, it would be okay, but I'm just going to do that. Here we go. Now it's out of the way. Alright, so let's get ready to attach this guy. So if we're looking at our sole, the wider part, this part here, obviously is the toe. And if we're looking at our little shoe, this is the toe. So you want to line it up as best as you can. And your sole has 52 stitches and your shoe has 52 stitches. So what we're going to do is we're going to work in the front loop of our shoe here. And we're going to work in the back loop of the sole. So I'm going to insert my hook in the front loop of the next stitch. And I'm just eyeballing this sole here of where to insert that first stitch. Back loop, I think about there, like that. And we're just working a slip stitch. And again, in the next stitch, front loop and back loop the next stitch of the sole. And we're just going to do this all the way around until our sole is attached to our shoe. And then we will be almost done. I had called these Mary Jane booty socks, so I guess not a very exciting name. I'm not really good with naming my patterns. Sometimes I can come up with something cute and catchy and clever. Most times, no. So I'm going to keep going, just stitching that on, and I will meet you back. Okay, so I'm almost done stitching around here. Just got, I think, 3 more stitches to go. And then we are almost done this project. It doesn't take very long to make. It is, I guess, a little bit more fiddly because it's more modular. It's not like something you make all in one piece. So then once you're done stitching around, you will cut your yarn. Okay, so here we go. We've got our sole attached. I think it's looking pretty cute. So now we need to pick up this white, our color B, and I'm just going to insert my hook here and pick that guy up, and we're ready to begin. So I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to single crochet across, so this will be 8 stitches across. Okay, so there we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to work our 26 single crochet around, and we are going to do it in the back loop. So that's why we worked in the back bump of the chain. So I'm working in the back loop, and I'm working that single crochet, and I'm just going to continue to single crochet. That one's tight, and we're splitting up. Here we go. And it's split again. Oh my heavens. This yarn, I like it, but I don't like it. Anyway, we're going to work 26 single crochet around in the back loop, and at the end you're going to put a stitch marker in your last stitch, and you're going to single crochet around for rounds 2 and 3, and you're going to be using your stitch marker. We're not joining or anything, and then I will meet you back at the end of round 3. Okay, so I worked up to row 3 here, so I have my 3 rows. So rows 2 and 3 we just worked in both loops all the way around. I'm still using my stitch marker. So for, not rows, we're working in rounds, I'm sorry. So round 4, we are just going to do a little bit of decreasing just to get this opening a little smaller so it's more sock-like. So what we're going to do is we are going to single crochet in the next 6 stitches. And we're just going to do a single crochet decrease, but I'm going to show you how I like to do it so it looks pretty seamless. I'm just going to put my hook in the front loop of that first stitch, or the next stitch, and then in the front loop of the next one. So I have my 3 loops in my hook. I'm going to yarn over, pull through 2. So we're going to do that again. I'm going to work 6 stitches, single crochet in 6. And I'm going to decrease. So front loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2, and we're just repeating. And then that front loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. I'm going to repeat. And now I have 2 stitches left. We're just going to work even in the final 2. So the math doesn't math completely, but it's okay. Alright, and then I'm going to make sure I'm going to put my stitch marker in that last stitch. So we're still working in continuous rounds here. Okay, so at the end of round 4, we're going to have 30 stitches, 30 single crochet. So round 5, we're just going to work even. We're just going to single crochet around. 1 stitch in each. So we are close to finishing here, which is exciting. These don't work up they work up pretty quickly once you kind of get the hang of what you're doing. Okay, so we have 1 more round to go. So for our last round, round 6, we're going to single crochet in that next stitch. And we're going to chain 2 and single crochet in the next stitch. So we're just going to, the repeat is single crochet, chain 2. It just creates like a little tiny ruffle around. I'm going to keep going, working my little ruffle here, and I will meet you back. So I just worked my single crochet in my last stitch, so I'll just need to complete the repeat, so I'm chaining 2, and then I'm just going to join with a slip stitch in that first stitch, and then we can cut our yarn. So there we go, we've got the cute little ruffly sock part on the top. So the only thing we have to do is we need to make the little strap so it looks like a Mary Jane style. So what we're going to do is I have my color A for the strap, so you are going to chain 13. So we have our 13 chains. I'm going to work in the back bump of my chain. I think in my original pattern I didn't, but I want both ends to look the same. So in the second bump from our hook, we're just working a single crochet, and we're just going to continue to single crochet all the way across. Okay, one more bump to go. And got some dog fur, jeez. It's not allowed in here, but it finds its way in. Alright, so here is our completed strap. So what we're going to do is we just need to cut our yarn. We do want to leave an end for sewing, so I'm going to leave about that much. So here is my completed strap. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to sew your strap on like that, and if you want you can add a decorative button. I have you'll see in the pictures some of the ones I've made, I put a little button on the end as kind of like a little buckle, but you don't have to do that. And then of course you're going to need to make another booty, so I'm going to go and make the other one, and you'll need to weave in your ends, and then if you need to lightly block them you can do that, and then your booty socks will be all done. Alright, so here we go. I have finished my little booty socks here. I think they're really cute. So when you sew your strap, just make sure the longer end is on opposite sides, and if you want you can sew a little button or some kind of decorative little thing there if you wanted to, but I'm not going to with these. So I will be gifting these to my new family member. We have a new baby in our family, which is very exciting. A baby, sweet baby girl, and again I didn't make these in pink because Mommy is not a big pink fan. Mommy likes blue is Mommy's favorite color, so I thought I would make some blue ones for her. But I hope you enjoyed this project, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.